want a boat, just want to dream about having a boat, it's a great time. Just walk around and look. Tickets, info, all that, clevelandboatshow.com. You get the last 4 tickets I have for you this week. 4-pack right now for caller 10. Good luck. Have fun. Bon voyage. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
The Alan Cox Show.
It's really just for people who are into that sort of thing.
A totally different thing.
And frankly, it's barely for them. 100.7 WMMS.
Next week, going to start putting people on teams for the return of the Alan Cox Show Polar Blast Battle. We're going to return back to Boston Mills Brandywine. I will have full details for you Monday on the show, probably around 4:30. I'll tell you the ins and outs and all of it. We're going to be at Boston Mills Brandywine, of course. I'll tell you when, how to get on our teams all next week. I'll be putting people on my team. Each one of us is a team captain, and then there's a 5th team with Barry White, Boston Mill Brandywine's mascot. So each one of us will have a team of 5 winners. My team, the Coxsicles, will lead off next week. So all the details forthcoming on Monday. To join us for the return, we've been gone for 2 years out there, the return of the Alan Cox Show Polar Blast Battle. I'll also have tickets for you next week to see Bush. Did you know Bush was coming? Bush is in a weird spot right now in their career, in that they're still putting out albums. I love Bush. They are not a band that I thought would still be around 30 years later. But I think Gavin Rossdale still does great work. It's not the original band. He's always kind of got a rotating cast of characters behind him. Some of the original guys come in and out. But they've done this thing over the past few years where sometimes they're headlining. Sometimes they'll go out, like they opened for Nickelback on an arena tour, things like that. They're playing MGM Northfield Park in February. I think I'm going to go to that show.
What day?
February the 10th. Friday night. I like Bush a lot.
I like Bush a lot, too.
So anyway,
16 Stone was on constantly in our house.
Yeah, I had a girl that got me into it when I was managing Blockbuster, one of my CSRs. She was like, oh, I'm way into Bush. And it was on the radio all the time, but I didn't pay that much attention to it. But then I kind of listened to it in its entirety. I was like, oh, I like this a lot. But they've just kept putting out albums. And Gavin Rossdale's off doing...
What's their latest single? Can we listen to it?
It's called... God, the album... They just dropped it not long ago.
I feel like it was 2021.
No, like they just dropped an album.
Last year?
Yeah. The Art of Survival. I think it just came out like a couple of weeks ago, maybe. More Than Machines is the new
I love
song.
the word machines.
Machine Head,
Yeah.
More Than Machines.
Well, that's 2. That's a lot.
Yeah, so they're playing MGM Northfield Park on February 10th. They're playing, I was talking to a friend of mine who works for my old station in Chicago, and Bush is their headliner for their winter festival. Bush, let me see if we have it. More Than Machines. Oh, here it is. Here's the new Bush.
Step on my toes, let the weather go. It's been a long wait in bed. Say what? We blow. Let's go. This is the time to shine. Everything wrong should be right. Girls, you in control. Not the government, not the government. Nothing changes, never stops. Say what? Breathe.
It's good, right? I mean,
Yeah,
Bush,
it's Bush.
Gavin Rossdale knows how to make a rock and roll song. There's a little bit of Korn in there. It still sounds like Bush. There's a little bit of Sabbath. Yeah, this came out in October. But yeah, they've put out album after album. This is their 9th album. And they put one out every 2 or 3 years. And they're still out there. Gavin Rossdale, you know, a lot of British singers, they lose their accent when they sing. He doesn't. And I like that vibe of Bush. So I'll have Bush tickets for you next week if you want to go see them out at MGM Northfield Park. And then if you are a fan of Bruce Campbell, The great Bruce Campbell, from the Evil Dead movies and Briscoe County Jr., for people who remember that.
Oh, man.
Remember Briscoe
Yeah.
County Jr.? And he's been on this show many times over the years. I love Bruce Campbell. I used to work with his cousin in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Bruce Orama is coming to the Agora in April. It is a last fan standing game with Bruce Campbell and Steve Sellery. And so if you're a big Bruce Campbell fan, I'll have tickets for you for that next week. Have you seen the Evil Dead Rise trailer?
I have not.
So there's a new Evil Dead film. He's not in it. There's no Ash. You know, they rebooted Evil Dead almost 10 years ago with Jane Levy. A super, super gory film.
Very gory.
And this one looks to be kind of the same. And they dropped the trailer and the poster for it midweek. It's about a woman it happens in a high-rise now. There's a woman who is visiting her sister and her sister's kids. And somebody finds that book.
That's stupid.
And they play they read it or whatever. And the mom is obviously instantly possessed. But these Evil Dead movies, when they bring them out, the original ones were kind of campy.
Necromancer, right? That's the what's the
Necronomicon.
Necronomicon.
The Book of the Dead.
Yeah.
Wrapped in human flesh, if you know your Evil Dead canon. So that's next week. I'll put you on Team Coxsicles for our Polar Blast. Get you to see Bush and Bruce Orama.
So
Go ahead.
sorry, I was just gonna say, do I need to come up with a new team name? I forget.
No,
mine was
I
last
used
time.
Coxsicles last time. I think it's funny, so I'm going to use it again. Bill used turgid protuberance.
I used that a couple of times.
Yeah.
I
I
might
forget
bring
what
it
mine
back
was.
this year.
What was mine the last time?
I don't know.
It should be the pound skates.
No.
Polar Blast Battle 2020 was the last time we did it. Let's see if we can find what Poundcake called. Somebody will tell me.
How about the lubed tubes?
No.
Because that was 2020 was our 10th annual.
Mm-hmm.
Was it 10?
Yeah, this is the 11th. So it's Team Barely White. That was your team.
That was my. No.
I had the Coxsicles.
Oh, because I had Barry on my team.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was me.
Bill had Click Click Tube.
That was
Remember
funny.
Click
Yeah,
Click Tube? That was a
one.
good one, right?
Click, click, tube!
And Mary had the Snow Babies. Nah.
Yeah. So
Oh, Snow Babies. Oh,
No,
I get
maybe
it.
it's
Yeah,
Snow
yeah, yeah.
Babies.
Barely White sounds about right because I had Barry White on my team. We combined. that year.
Okay.
And he's what slowed me down, Barry.
Well, yeah, that's what it was. He
I always
jammed you up.
You guys always put me in sudden death. It's never just, and it's just like a fine, we have a winner. It's fine. Nope.
Yeah.
I always have to go back up. I'm always like freezing. But no.
Always somebody else's fault. Uh-huh. I beat you in sudden death the year I won, and Barry White had nothing to do with it.
Had everyone been faster the first time round, we would have won. We would have won straight up.
Yeah. So Monday, I will have full details for you on how you can join us this coming year and start putting people on my team, on the Coxsicles. And hopefully hopefully the weather will cooperate and it'll all be great. Alan Cox Show After Hours line. Anytime you want to leave us messages there, you can. Let me give you this money here first. I'm losing track of my time before everybody starts blowing me up. It's a chance to go fund yourself about 30 past every hour. So let's do this right here. There's $1,000 on the line. I hope you win. Good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword money at WMMS.com. That's money. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
There you go. Alan Cox Show After Hours line to leave us voicemails. 216-986-8903.
Alan, hey, Happy New Year. Hate the show. Oh, my God. I am dying laughing at the fact that you had your nipples pierced. I just cannot get past that. I'm just thinking of a young, dorky Alan going to just have those clamps pressed on those tight little nips and then pierced because you thought they would be funny or something. I don't know. That is probably the funniest single fact that I have learned in like the 7 years of listening to you. I normally call, bitch, and complain about the show. That's my New Year's resolution, try to be more positive. Please divulge more incredibly humiliating aspects of your personal history. Maybe just get your nipples pierced again, and then take them out. Either way, the best part, hilarious. Go to hell.
I like that guy always calls and is just shredding me from top to bottom. That's the nicest voicemail he's ever left. And apparently he's turned over a new leaf, is what he's saying, right?
Trying to be more
Dude, honestly, I can't stop thinking about that either. Like that's
about when my nipples. Listen, it was the early 90s, man. We were all kind of trying to figure out who we were in the moment and what we could do and what we couldn't do. You know, my hair was still really long, and I was never a tattoo guy. I was a piercing guy. So that was where I was, and it was about, like I said, I only had him in for about 8 months because I was terrified somebody was going to be on top of me and pull them like grenades, you know, in flagrante delicto.
And what's the movie? Airheads. Chris Farley plays a cop, and he's going around asking people for some information, and there's a big muscly guy that rips off Chris Farley's badge and like chews it up and spits it out. I was like, what are you going to do about that, pig boy? And then Chris Farley rips off this dude's nipple piercing, and he's like, improvise. And I was like, yep, never doing the nipple piercing because of that.
Or any piercing. You know, you see a movie where they pull it out of somebody's earlobe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's no fun either. So
I had the ear.
I wasn't worried about people pulling them out of my ears, but
I still kind of have like my ear holes. I'm sure they probably like closed up a bit, but you could still tell where they were if I were to take my headphones off. But I had to get out of that phase once I went out of like my homo thug phase because
homo thug.
Because I was very clearly closeted, but trying to fit in with all the other long tee wearing dudes around me, and I had the biggest fake earrings that would weigh down my ear. You couldn't even see how big the diamond was shining because it was like pointing down. That's how heavy it was. And, yeah, literally. So they're like literally hanging down. It looks like it's like, oh, this dude's really gay. He's like going to a banquet or something.
Banquet.
He has like
I'm
those
black
earrings in his ear.
and I'm gay.
Wow.
So I got out of that phase real quick. I still sometimes I have like a jewelry box where I have like chains and like stuff I've gotten for like Christmas. And every so often, I mean, my class ring is in there, and then my old earrings in there. I'm like, they're missing diamonds in the squares. Like, this is awful. I can't believe I used to put that nasty gook in my ear. It's so dirty.
Well, I remember because I went to Catholic school. I went K through 12. And in high school, when my friends were getting their ears pierced and then taking them out every morning and going to school, because you couldn't do that stuff. We could barely have long hair. We were wearing jacket and tie every day. And magnetic stud earrings were a big thing back then. So for people like myself, trying to dip my toe in that, and I was like 15 years old, the magnetic stud earrings, right? Except if you wear those all day long, they hurt because it's magnets exerting force on your earlobes, you know? So I was like, screw this. So I basically, like, senior year of high school, just got my ears pierced.
I used one of those for bit I was in when we did the Man in the Box show, me and Polk, and I had like a skull and crossbones magnetic earring that I got from, you know, my character got that. And I wasn't gonna really get my ear pierced for that, so I just got this magnetic one, and it was very funny. But yeah, I could see that being very annoying to have all day. I've never been a piercing person. The only piercing I ever got was the dangly earring as the polar blast punishment.
Yeah,
and that wasn't even a polar blast punishment. I always forget that. That was because I won that year, and then I said if my album got to #1 on iTunes, then I'd do it.
That's why you did it.
Yeah.
See, I thought about
No, that was the Perm. I actually did lose that year. The Perm was the album getting the #1.
I thought about getting my eyebrows pierced, but then people were telling me that I'm trashy. I was like, why would I look trashy with an eyebrow piercing? I thought it would be
Bro,
cool.
you wouldn't even be able to see it through those bushy eyebrows.
Alan, of course, Poundcake's ear holes have closed up. That's why he never listens to the show. See, they know what's going on.
Earlobe holes.
Yeah.
Ugh, and it still has like some scar tissue there. I'm sure it would hurt.
Well, it's like Gwen. She's had a nose ring for 25 years. I don't even see it anymore. I'm so used to it. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm blind to it.
I never want to get a nose piercing because that might get in the way of my booger picking.
Yeah. You don't want to hook it on anything.
Right.
Alan, I could see you as like a tongue ring guy. You never.
That's a
thought
chick
about-
thing to me. You know, somebody texted me
Also-
that one of their male friends got a belly button piercing, and then
I do know.
I
guy
think
who got
I'm
one.
chauvinistic when it comes to some piercings, and I think, and you could make the case that nipple piercing is a chick thing too. But I mean, the tongue thing, the eyebrow, there are just some that to me read better on a female. I'm like, I would never. Yeah, I would not do. And by the way, I talk for a living. For radio, I was doing stand up. I was not going to mess with my tongue.
This guy,
with something stupid.
This guy I know, he probably is the person that I know that gets laid the most. He sleeps with.
This is a gay guy.
No.
Oh.
He's a straight guy. He sleeps with mad girls. At least he did. He's in jail now.
They're all mad.
But
He's in jail now, so he's not sleeping with girls anymore.
He had a belly button piercing, and at first he had it as a spider, and I was like, oh, that's kind of odd, but okay, it's punk rock. Then later on, after he the hole got bigger or whatever, he made it into a marijuana leaf. He had a marijuana leaf belly button piercing, and it was in between his hole. You know
And
what I
now
mean?
that he's in prison, the hole's really big, though. Yeah! Sodomy!
I thought that was cool.
Multiple people are saying that the Homo Thugs have to be Poundcake's team name.
The Homo Thugs?
Oh, God. Although somebody else suggested Brown Streaks, and that's really good, too. Plank Jacksons.
Oh, there you go.
The Plank Jacksons.
The sleigh rides? Or sleigh riders?
Yeah, do SLAY.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Sleigh riders.
Two briders?
Poundcake should get double eyebrow piercings as a punishment.
Double?
Double?
I mean, that wouldn't even be that bad of a punishment because I wanted it, but no, I'm not going to do that now. You wait till I'm about to be hella professional and do weddings to get eyebrow
Hella
piercings.
professional.
I finally lose
Yeah, but that's
some
not
weight.
but wedding DJ is not an executive position. I mean, you're not going to work for Skadden Arps.
No,
You're doing weddings.
I'm not doing that.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, that's still an artistic endeavor.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Messing up my face. No, there's the only thing I got left that's not broken. My teeth are probably going to rot out. Everything else is going to fall off. My face.
Teeth are going to rot out. How come this guy doesn't pierce his tongue? Well, he's got no teeth, so the whole thing looks weird.
Actually, the tongue piercing probably helped me chew.
Oh,
I pushed it up against the top of my mouth.
Boy. Okay, I'm going to break. If you want to text for anything, 35192. Want to watch? Go to AlanCoxShow.com and listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app.